Start it.
Hey, it's your girl Optimistic K, and I want to welcome you to my channel. Today is Entrepreneur Tuesday, so let's get to it. Today's topic is don't believe the hype. I feel that it's very easy for entrepreneurs to fall into a slump, especially when you're a new entrepreneur. A lot of times things start off really slow. Your progress is like not matching the level of grind you're putting into the business, and like you just feel like defeated and exhausted all the time. I think that we find ourselves getting into a different type of rut every now and again when we just like feel like we don't need to continue to go as hard as we're going because we're not seeing the immediate results. I just want to let you know that that is like the worst thing that you can do as an entrepreneur. You cannot allow your grind to be determined by the level or the quickness of your progress. A lot of times you don't see a return on your investment for who knows, like a number of years or weeks or months. It just depends on what type of business you have and like how you're promoting it, what your marketing strategy is, like what are you selling. It all depends. Some things may catch on a little quicker, some things may, be a little slower, but the one thing that's constant is our grind has to continue to be at a high level and it has to be quality. But I feel like that's one thing that hinders us as entrepreneurs. I feel that we really get discouraged when we don't see a return on our investment quickly. Understand that hard work pays off no matter what. Although it may not pay off quickly, it's still going to pay off. Another thing I want to talk to y'all about today is attention that we get once we announce that we're entrepreneurs. I don't know about y'all, but when I told the world that I quit my job and I became a full-time entrepreneur, I received like a flood of like text messages and messages on Instagram, Facebook, and like I got a lot of attention for it, and I really had to make sure I didn't allow myself to fall into that trap. To be very cautious in the way that you accept that praise and the way that you internalize it. Do not, I repeat, do not allow the praise to blind you or force you to forget that you have work to do. Announcing it to the world and being courageous enough to start the business is just 20% of the battle. You got a whole nother 80% that your grind and your hustle and your network has to fulfill. So don't get complacent. Don't get too happy with yourself just by saying that you're an entrepreneur. Make sure that you're doing. When you get praised for being an entrepreneur and then you get used to just saying, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I work for myself, you have to be careful that you don't fall into that trap of just saying things and saying what you're going to do and talking about the entrepreneur life. You got to be careful that you're not just saying it and that you're actually doing it. Like, I think that a lot of people fall in love with the idea of being an entrepreneur, or they fall in love with the little hashtag to say that they're a boss. I'm a boss. I do this, and that. But it really is all fluff. I think that we have to make sure we are putting the work in. We got to stop talking about it and start being about it. Being acknowledged for having the courage to start the business is great. Having the support of others is great. But at the end of the day, if you are talking all the time and you aren't producing, at the end of the day, it's going to show. And you don't want to be out here in these streets looking crazy. So stop talking about it and start being about it. Honestly, I feel like entrepreneurs have it bad when it comes to trying to regulate our mentality and our mindset and regulate our life schedule and our sleeping schedule. It's just crazy. Like, nothing is regulated. And when you decide to become an entrepreneur, you decide to step into a world where things are uncertain, but the one thing that has to be certain is that you're going to work your ass off. You're going to work hard. You're going to keep pushing. You're going to do everything you can to bring this vision that you have in your head out to the real world. So the goal is to don't believe the hype. Don't get caught up in the praise. Don't allow all of this acknowledgement to seduce you. You have to stay focused and drawn in on what your mission is and you have to push through. Entrepreneurs have to remind each other that if you don't do, you don't eat. Don't allow your process or the level of your process to determine the amount of grind that you put into your craft. You're gonna have to regroup and redefine often. You have to figure out new methods often. And it's never gonna be one cookie cutter way to do it. You're just gonna have to continue to grow and evolve throughout your whole entrepreneur journey. It's all about what you're doing to prepare for the future. The mission is to stick to the plan and stay encouraged along the way. Everybody else is gonna catch on eventually, but you have to keep preparing yourself until that day comes. If your business is not taking off the way you thought it was gonna take off, don't be discouraged. At the end of the day, you're doing what you love, and that should be your instant gratification. Knowing that you're not wasting your time doing something that you don't love, or that you're not working to bring somebody else's dreams to fruition, should give you all the joy in the world. Understand that it's a process. Everything is a process. It takes time. It's going to get better. Make sure that you're doing it. Make sure that you are really putting in the work that you say you're putting in. Anybody can change their status on social media, and anybody can put a hashtag and put entrepreneur lifestyle on it. But only true entrepreneurs put in that work. You have to put in that work even when you're not seeing a return on your investment. You have to put in that work even when you're exhausted. You have to put in that work even when you're feeling like, dang, I don't think that I'm gonna make it. I don't know if this is really the right choice anymore. You have to continue to work and keep your feet moving no matter what. So, the message this week is don't believe the hype. No matter if it's good praise or if it's negativity, don't believe the hype. Focus on staying prepared and getting ready for, those new clients or that new partnership. If you don't stay ready and if you don't prepare, you're going to fail miserably. You're going to fall flat on your face when you are approached with an opportunity. So, like I said, don't believe the hype. All right, until next time, stay focused, keep grinding, and respect the process. Talk to you later.